care that much, right? No, don't duck face it. That looks.
No.
I can't.
Oh,
I
you're
can't do
live.
that. Yeah, I'm live now.
Oh,
Yeah.
duck face.
No duck facing. I can't even do that. It just looks weird. Okay, so it is Mediumship Monday. Pretty exciting. I'm really excited about our topic. We were talking last week about hope. And I guess I'm hopeful that my back will stop hurting. How about that? It's a lot of hope for that. I am going to be drinking a lot of water. Today. I'm very, very thirsty. Hi, Sarah. How are you doing? It's nice to see you here. So I'm gonna try not to jostle the table. I got a little bit of comments about me jostling the table. So today we're going to continue our conversation about hope. What I really find interesting, and one of the things I've found interesting, is that there's not that much out there about hope. Hope is part of a cycle, but what I found interesting is not a lot of people were talking about it. They were talking about how to lose weight, how to make money, how to like move up in the corporate world, how to like be a better version of yourself, but nobody was really talking about hope. So I am so excited that we are here talking about hope together. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's all I can keep saying. I need to like break out my thesaurus for multiple words for hope or excited. Both of those things are both of what I am. So I do want to invite everybody who hasn't liked this page to definitely subscribe. Subscribing to it makes it sound like there's a fee. There's no fee involved in this. It's absolutely free. All you hit is the subscribe thing, and then you can hit the little bell, and it will you'll be able to get notifications when I go live or I post a video. Again, I'm going to be taking this in multiple directions because I don't know. I like it. Although I'm hearing that, well, anyway, duck lips is a thing, I guess, not for me, but for some other people. So last week, I did research this week on what people thought hope was, not necessarily people, but how it was described. And it was described as a feeling of expectation. I thought that was really interesting. That's the Webster dictionary expectation. I thought, wow, it's always you're hopeful to be expecting something, to move forward and to expect you get something, or a desire for something to happen, which I didn't really think fits the metaphysical idea of what I want to get across for hope. Now, understand, one of the things I know that I'm here for is to really shake things up on how compartmentalized we view things. I like to talk about this when it comes to the Claires, and like all the who's Claire? Just all the Claires people talk about. Well, what are you? Are you just an empath? Are you clairsentient? Are you clairaudient? Meaning, how do you get your information? Now, if you know about me and you've been watching these for a while, and you know that I bring a lot of things into our conversations. So we're going to talk a lot about different things, which includes Malcolm Gladwell's book, Blink. If you have not read this book, you absolutely must go read it. Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. Actually, read all of his books. It is amazing. But in Blink, he really talks about that you have your subconscious that will come up and support you and give you a real good sense of what's actually happening in front of you. He opens it up with a great story about a statue that was supposed to be an ancient statue that was selling. It was priceless, and a museum was buying it, has spent years studying it, and then people walked in, and the first thing they thought were experts were like, fresh. If it's an ancient statue, one of the things you don't want the first words to be is, oh, yeah, that's really fresh. That's a fresh looking statue. Like, it should have been in the ground or smothered underwater, or like totally a lot of things happening to it. So Malcolm Gladwell really talks about that. But one of the things he goes on to the book to talk about, which I hope you read it, and I'm not spoiling it for you, is is the fact that when you begin to try and figure out how you get information, things bring everything together to give you a really crisp picture of what's happening. So what in God's name does that have to do with anything I've already talked about? You might be asking yourself that question right now. Hopefully I don't forget all my threads and we'll bring it all together. So remember we were talking about hope and talking about it as the dictionary of wanting something to happen, wanting the expectation of something. I actually kind of like the metaphysical world believe that it's more intricate than that. It's not just a want for something. It's actually a going into a spin between hope and fear. You're fearing something and then you hope. You fear and then you hope. And it goes back and forth. You go back and forth between hope and fear in this dance over and over again. And I like to use the idea of meditation, right? I really, really, really want to meditate, but I just can't do it. I sit down and I can't do it. I just can't meditate at all. What I'm going to say is in the cycle, how do you actually break the cycle? Because hope is actually an action. I think hope is an interconnectedness of people and places, whether it be the oceans or the mountains or the tables or the chairs or the whatever who's around you. Hope is an interconnectedness with action. So let's just talk about the resistance to doing something, like the resistance to, I want to be this way. I'm hopeful that I'm going to move in this direction, which is a movement. Again, hope is a movement. I hope everybody's getting this. That's a little pun. Anyway, definitely make sure that you comment, because sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to, YouTube, and I know I am. So so I want to offer something today. I want to offer that, like, for the next 48 hours, that you ask how. So when you're finding yourself in this cycle of hoping to be something, hoping to accomplish something, hoping to get forward, let's keep it simple. Let's just keep it to meditation, okay? Keeping it to meditation. So how do you hope that you meditate, but you're like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I want you to get a little curious as to how. Now, how is a great question to ask. How are you going to do this? How is an action word? How it has, there's a spontaneity about how. There's, I can think of a lot, maybe not necessarily the right thing. How things are going to happen. It's almost like, hang on, I wrote down a bunch, so I didn't just say one thing. It's active. Like, this active part again is how. Well, be interested in how I can't meditate. Ask yourself in the middle of your meditation, and you begin to meditate and be like, I can't do this. Ask yourself how you can't do it. What are the mechanisms of that how? What does it look like? To get curious around yourself. Now, one thing that I don't think I've ever said in any of my videos, which in the overarching realm of anything spiritual, mediumship, psychic, empath, whatever you want to call reading energy, is that you actually have to do the internal work. You have to look inside and to ignite your inside and to deal with all of your shadow sides. Like, how does this shadow side come up to sabotage you? How is it that, I'm just trying to think of some good ideas that I could use about myself without, I have to think about this for a second. Hang on, I'll take a drink of water and think about it. Okay. I mean, I don't know if it's kind of materialistic, but I'm not even going to say that one. I'm just going to stick with the meditation, because the how in how you're sabotaging yourself, not finding your answers, not following through, there is something you're getting out of this. There is something that you're getting out of it. And the more curious you are, the more spontaneous you'll be to survive and kind of rise up to the supporting of your answer. Because when you say you can't do it and the why of it, why, and just, there's an implication of judgment. Well, asking why questions are, in my opinion, it's useless. Why is a mechanism? Why is a compartmentalism? Why is a way that we just try and figure out how things work together and that's it? Why isn't a holistic view? Which, if you can see and have been listening and watching the world around you, you see we're moving into this real holistic view of what people need, how to support them, how. Remember, here's that how. You don't have to have the answers. You don't absolutely have to have the answer for to the questions. You just have to be curious enough to ask how. How could this be better? How can I move forward? Or how do I not meditate? How do I not make my goals? How do I sabotage myself? Whether it be, I mean, we started this whole fact is that there's a lot of like out there about how to lose weight, how to like, oh, that's a really good one too. How to have the best makeup. Like there's makeup things all over the place. It's really, here's my challenge. How to just be yourself. How about that? How to just be yourself and not worry about all the other noodles. Let's just say that. Oh, I just got asked a question. Please repeat our challenge. Oh, your challenge from last week. Oh.
I knew that one. I just failed it.
So the challenge of of how you. So okay. So the hope challenge. The hope challenge of this week is to when you get in the cycle of fear and hope, because that's what it is. Usually there's a hope, and instead of asking how, we're asking why. We're asking, why am I not good enough? Why am I not this enough? Why can't I be this blah, blah, blah enough to actually make a difference in this? How, why? Why is very judgmental. So what I'm asking you to do in this next 48 hours is to ask yourself how versus why. How am I not meeting my goals? How does it feel? How is it feeling when I'm moving within these sensations of, and I'm going to tell you one of the things I think you will find if you start to uncover it is that you begin to ask yourself these questions, and you'll find that there's been a lot of unworthiness that you'll uncover. A lot of not feeling good enough and not being good enough. We think we're not being good enough instead of just being. We think we have to go doing instead of being. And in the doing, we usually forget how to be. So part of it is kind of sneaky. This next 48-hour challenge is kind of sneaky because what I'm saying is when you're asking this, how you're going to be practicing non-judgment. You're going to practice non-judgment. Like, think about how intense that is. Think about somebody, and I think I told this story before. I had the best counselor in the world. Yeah, it's too hard to be comfortable. Okay, so so that's good. Actually, you said that. This is a great segue into being comfortable with yourself. Think if you were born a gender of a man and you identified as a woman your whole life. And then you decided to step over and become a woman. So you go through all the hormones, all the surgeries, all the everything, and you become a transgender woman. and you're walking in this world in a set of shoes you've never had to live before. And let's just, for the sake of argument, say you're a white male, white female. And let's just say you all of a sudden have to understand a woman's perspective. So I had a therapist once. She was the best therapist in the world, a transgender woman. And what I find absolutely hilarious is that she had told me that before she was transgender and was married, and she could never find anything. She couldn't find anything ever in a drawer, and her wife would come over and be like, "It's right there." So when she transitioned into a transgender woman, she never lost anything, which I think is the funniest thing ever. Like, there's this part where hormones come into it, but you can never truly know someone else's path. So what does transgender everything have to do with any of this? It's interesting because I think it's coming in through parents. Okay, this is a harder one too, because some of us are of the let's call it the neglect generation, okay, where we weren't really held and picked up and told how like wonderful and loving and sweet we are, where we just did our own things. So we don't really know what our parents were going through when this was happening. So normally we walk away with the idea and concept that we're bad, that we must not be lovable, that there must be something wrong with us. And I really want to challenge you in this week, not just 48 hours, but in this week, to really, anytime you're finding yourself in this hope and fear cycle, that you ask yourself, how? How does it feel to feel less than? Is this a learned behavior? Did it happen because you were mostly on your own? Did it happen because of abuse? There could be multiple reasons, but I just want you to get curious on how and how it's affecting you. Well, we're talking about some serious stuff tonight. I hope everybody's okay with that. Okay. All right. So let's see what else we have to talk about. Anybody want to talk about anything in particular? Not you. You don't know. No. Fine. Good. I'm glad to hear this. A perfect topic. Thank you, because this actually, thank you. It's got nothing to do with me though, quite honestly. It's always what Spirit leads me to do. So hope is a really deep subject. And that's why I say I don't know how many weeks I'm going to talk about this, but it's something that's very important to be talked about, because hope is an action movement. Hope is moving into the space of love, not only for yourself, but for people around you. So I'm just kind of checking out to see what spirits are with me today. Gosh, okay. So wow, the last time we did this, I have a young gentleman here with a suicide. And also, thank you very much. Wow. Okay. So I just had an aunt step forward. I feel like this aunt had like a lower cancer, either feels like liver or intestinal cancer. They're making me feel like they did everything they could, but I feel like this is a death date. This is like right around their death date. So either it just passed, I don't know if you can see that, but it looked like weird to me. So I think it just passed. The death anniversary just came and passed. I don't know if they were to the point where they were going to they sort of said like taking out some of the colon. So I feel that. I also feel a very Native American presence. I feel very honorable. I don't know if somebody was just, because they just showed me a tracing of a tree. So there's a tree involved with this is, okay. So what I'm hearing is that if I feel like this is a familial, this is a family lineage. It's a very powerful spirit coming forward, as if, just like I do see like headdress. I see a headdress, and wow. So if this is in your family, whether you're watching now or later, it's really to get you outside. I'm seeing you resting upon a tree as sort of like to regenerate your life force. That's really important. I also see a younger male in a wheelchair. Almost makes me feel like blood disease or something going on. That there's something going on with this, with his, like some blood disease. I also feel like there was maybe a lot of clearing the throat and a lot of phlegm. Okay. I just heard the words, tell my sister I'm okay. It's interesting because they're sort of going like this. I'm okay, and it's not for you to take up. So I don't really know what that is about, but it's definitely a message. So it's almost like there's peace. It's like when I received this message, it was from a meeting. It's like, it's not your karma. That's what it is. Not your karma. Message retracted. What did you say, Sarah? It's not your karma. Okay. Wow. I don't know if we have somebody on here. It's weird because I've not had this before, but they're using my like love of the ocean to pull me into it. And it's almost like there's a spirit that is showing me like swimming with dolphins. So, and also, I don't know, so I don't know if this is close to me or not, because I'm feeling this, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling like this researcher kind of feeling with that as well. Sort of like the ability to, like they were doing chemistry, biology, like their basic subjects. So I feel like total play. That's play in the ocean, play. Okay, so and I want to say, because I just saw my son had passed by suicide, and I am so sorry about that. I'm just sending you love and going to be asking that everybody on here send love but death by suicide is very hard for the people who are left behind, obviously. And then I'm also feeling this, I just feel like a flip of a car accident. So there's a quick passing with a car accident. It looks like the car flipped. But I don't think that there was any passing outside of that. It's a male, a younger male. So, okay, that's what I have for tonight. I have to tell you a couple of things, and I have a big headache in the back of my head. So sometimes I'll just sit here and it looks like I not be doing anything, but I should explain that. I always forget to explain what I'm doing. I'll have conversations with spirit as I'm having a conversation, but sometimes I won't. I'll just be here. So this is somebody who passed with like a head injury, because they're showing me that. I don't know if this is somebody who potentially passed with a motorcycle accident, because it feels very fast. So I just want to, okay. So I just want to let you know, I will be at Sal's Italian Restaurant in Tecumseh on the 22nd, I think. Yeah, the 22nd. come at 4:00 because you can come in and then you can eat. Okay, so come in at 4:00. You can eat at 6. Wait, yes, from 6 to 8, I'll do readings, and then there's a group reading, open room. About 45 people can fit in that room, and I may have my full moon spray done by then. No guarantees. It's a really busy week for me, so please know I'm sending you oceans of love. And oh yeah, which is interesting. Pardon me. I am going to, I am designing, I'm going to actually write my C light and B light is going to be I'm going to put it on t-shirts and pillows. So I'm super excited about that. So those are some things that are coming, and maybe I'll even bedazzle it. Probably not. I don't have enough time to do that. So just please know that I'm here with each of you, and I will have